Welcome to Daily Book Insight. Today, we are diving deep into a truly game-changing book, Robert Greene's masterpiece, The Laws of Human Nature.
Okay, let's just start right there, because this quote is everything. Greene's entire argument is that understanding people, really getting what makes them tick, is the most important skill you can ever learn. It's the key that unlocks pretty much everything else in life. So, where do we begin? Well, we have to start with a fundamental problem, a big illusion we all live with. The people around you, and yeah, even you, are not always what you seem. Think about it for a second. We're all kind of performing, all the time. We put on this professional, capable mask for work. Then we switch to a more relaxed, fun mask for our friends, and maybe a totally different one for our family. We almost never show the world who we are, deep down, because, we want to fit in. Well, that's where all the trouble starts, right? All the confusion, all the conflict, all those huge misunderstandings, they happen in that gap between what someone shows you and what's really going on inside. And that is exactly why Greene says we have to get better at decoding people's behavior.
So let's get practical and look at our first law. We're going to tackle one of the most dangerous and definitely one of the most disguised emotions that people hide: envy. Okay. Just imagine this scenario. You leave your job, you shake hands, everyone's smiling, and then you find out your old manager is telling people you were fired for stealing. It's a perfect and honestly a chilling example of what Greene calls active envy. It's like a poison that works in the dark, and it often comes from someone you thought was on your side. Greene calls envy elusive for a really good reason. It's so hard to spot because nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to admit they're envious. It's just not a good look. So people get really good at hiding it. So how do you spot it? You have to look for the leaks, the little cracks in the mask. That split-second look of annoyance when you share good news. The compliment that feels a little off, like it has a sting in its tail. And of course, if you hear they're gossiping about you, that's not just a red flag, it's a giant flashing billboard. Wow, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that raw, uncomfortable feeling that someone else's success is somehow your failure. It's a deeply human thing to feel, but it can be so destructive. Okay, so we've been looking at what's hidden in other people. Now, it's time to turn that lens right back around at ourselves. And we need to be brutally honest here.
So, are we? According to Robert Greene, the answer is a big fat yes. We are all, to some degree, self-absorbed. Think about it. Most of our brain power goes toward our own goals, our own feelings, our own problems. It's just our factory setting. But here's a super important distinction. It's a spectrum, right? Most of us are on the healthy end. We have enough self-love to function. But deep narcissists, they're totally different. They're like emotional vacuums that need constant attention from the outside world, and they will manipulate and control people to get it.
And the difference is just night and day. On one side, you've got people with healthy self-focus. They can feel empathy, they don't take every little thing personally. On the other side, you have the deep narcissist, who only sees other people as tools, as sources of attention to fill that void inside them.
So, what's the antidote? How do we fight this in ourselves and deal with it in others? It's one powerful word: empathy. The simple act of shifting our focus from me to trying to understand another person's world. That's what builds real connection and gives us a clearer picture of reality. All right, so we've looked out and we've looked in. Now let's zoom all the way out to the social level and see how groups can have this incredible power to just completely take over our common sense. This is such a classic experiment, and honestly, it's kind of terrifying. So, people were asked to do a super simple task: match the length of a line. When they did it alone, no problem. They got it right almost every time. But then, they were put in a room with a bunch of actors who all started picking the wrong line on purpose, and something wild happened. A staggering 75%. 3 out of 4 participants went along with the group's obviously wrong answer at least once. They knew it was wrong, but they said it anyway. That just shows you how powerful that pull to conform really is. So why on earth would we do that? Well, a few big reasons. First, we are just wired to want to belong. The fear of being the odd one out is intense. Second, emotions are contagious in a group. And finally, being in a crowd that all agrees, it gives us this false sense of certainty, even if the crowd is dead wrong.
Okay, so after all that, you might be thinking, wow, people are kind of a mess. But the goal here isn't to become cynical and mistrust everyone. The goal is to become smarter, more empathetic, and more self-aware, to become a kind of detective of human nature. And the good news is, Greene gives us a roadmap. He lays out 3 key steps you can start practicing right now to really master these laws for yourself.
Step 1. Become a world-class observer. Stop listening so much to what people say and start watching what they do, again and again over time. Pay really close attention to how they act under pressure. That's when the real person behind the mask starts to show.
All right, step 2 is maybe the hardest one. You have to embrace your own dark side. You have to admit that you too have the capacity for envy, for narcissism, for irrationality. The moment you understand your own shadow, it has less power over you, and you become way more empathetic to other people's struggles. And last but not least, the ultimate skill: cultivate your independence. You have to practice thinking for yourself even when, especially when, the entire group is pulling you one way. This is how you can work with others without completely losing yourself in the process. So that's the real question, isn't it? By learning to decode human nature, you don't just get better at dealing with other people. You gain this incredible power to understand yourself and to see the world with so much more clarity. You can finally start finding the answers.